too undignified.
So,
All right,
civilized.
so is everybody excited for Jeffrey Combs? Because today, it's Jeffrey Combs Day. The start.
Very first episode, in fact.
Yes. The Andorian incident. We don't even get that much Jeffrey Combs throughout the series, but he's so memorable.
Yes.
There's only like, what, 5 episodes with Jeff?
Wait, really? Only 5 episodes?
Maybe 6? I don't know. 6? Let me look it up. Commander Shran.
Oh, damn. Enterprise doesn't seem to be very popular today, at least in the Discord. There's only 3 of us.
Oh, 9 appearances. 9. Oh yeah, he has that trilogy in season 4, right? With the Romulans.
Who is it?
Netflix says it's language, nudity, and gore. Wow. I mean, there's not nudity, at least not in this episode. But if Netflix says it, we get Archer and T'Pol under a blanket together, but that's, I mean, what will the children think if they see 2 people sharing a blanket?
Very true.
And then T'Pol steals it like a jerk. But, yeah, the episodes today are the Andorian incident, Breaking the Ice, which is about landing on a comet and making a snowman, and Civilization, which is about some primitives.
And this is the one with the Vulcan, Sanctuary,
the Vulcan Monastery of Pijam.
Listening post.
Listening post? Whoa! They wouldn't do that. They have no technology. They say so themselves. Shran plays 2 characters in Enterprise? What are the 2 characters he plays in Enterprise? Just the other guy.
Just Miranda.
Right. He said he plays, oh god, I don't know his name. He plays the Ferengi that's trying to... He's like being bullied by all the other Ferengi, and at the end he works with Captain Archer. Like, ties up the others and makes a bribe. I don't know his name. It's not Pelk. That's someone else. That's another Jeff. It's not Commander Shran. I don't know. It's not important. He's a Ferengi. But, yeah. How's the weather today? In terms of weather, if this counts as weather, we have a high surf warning. That just means don't go to the jetty, because you might be swept off by a wave. Otherwise, pretty chill. Who goes to the jetty? The jetty sucks. The jetty, it's just a line of cement, and there are some giant caltrops around it. Or the...
Where you live, maybe.
I mean, do you have a jetty?
No.
Well, I can assure you, the jetty sucks. It's windy. There's just cement everywhere. I mean, I guess it's nice that you get to walk a little bit out to sea, but then, I mean, don't walk out to sea a bit right now, because there's some waves.
The high surface tours by the jetty is trying by the ship in the water. It's trying to hide itself.
I see.
It's Saturday.
It is Saturday.
It's Saturday.
What are we watching?
We're watching Enterprise: The Andorian Incident. We get to meet Commander Shran. In 39 seconds. Hurry up, get queued up.
I am.
Okay.
Which episode is it? 6, right?
Season 1, episode 6. The Andorian Incident.
I came just in time. I'm so excited.
Good. Mr. Socks here was sort of live tweeting for the Discord his reactions to some of the Enterprise episodes a few months ago.
Yeah, excuse me, I bloody loved all of Enterprise.
Good. It's a good show. All right, everybody get ready to press play. We're almost there. Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And I should stream a better
that
countdown
map
for
map
Discord.
painting?
Folks. I missed it. I was setting up on Discord. Okay. We'll probably get it again.
It's a sanctuary. It's a different map painting than usual.
Actually, I can just Google it. Put gem matte painting.
Don't know if you mentioned it, but this episode is directed by Roxanne Dawson, who is Belana Torres in Voyager.
Ah, yes. That's not... I don't... Wait. Well, Roxanne Dawson, yes. But the matte painting, I don't think that's a matte painting. I think that's CGI. That's a CGI monastery.
Yeah, the monastery might be, but it looks like the background is a map painting.
I am going to drop the hottest of takes by saying that Enterprise was at its best during the Boldly Go seasons, during seasons 1 and 2.
Yes! Finally!
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that.
I love seasons 1 and 2. And 3 and 4, but just slightly less.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone's like, yeah, dude, you could just skip seasons 1 and 2.
No, don't.
I like
let
the
me
art
blur it.
in 3 and 4, but the episodes in between are a lot more mixed.
People like season 3?
I like season 3.
I like season 3, I like season 4, I like all of Enterprise. It's just a good
Yes,
show.
Enterprise is good.
The
People
only
like season
episodes of
1 and 2 and
Enterprise...
4?
The only episodes that I don't like of Enterprise are that, the Dr. Soong augment arc. I don't care for those.
Same.
Everything else is great.
Same. I mean, I'm not a fan of the episode that, well, it actually doesn't exist.
Oh,
What?
the finale.
Yeah.
You mean Terra Prime? Why wouldn't you like Terra Prime?
Terra Prime's great.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
I like the part at the end where the show actually marks itself as a finale for all of classic track with the whole monologue thing where it shows you all 3 enterprises.
And Trip, what are you complaining about? What's the point of going places people have already been? Your mission is to seek out new life and new civilizations, not to seek out new places with nobody there.
Yes.
Vulcan star chart's inaccurate. How dare they?
I mean, the Vulcans only just sort of scout the general area. They don't care about specifics.
Well, they should.
I'm starting to suspect that just like with the finale of Next Generation, the version of the show I have is slightly longer. What's the length of the episode for you?
Oh god, let me do math. 44 minutes, 18 seconds in total.
Yeah, I got like 8 extra seconds.
Okay.
Truly an entirely different experience.
Tell you what, I will briefly stream it to Discord so you can see exactly where I am. And if your 8 seconds is out of sync now or later.
I noticed I'm out of sync a bit earlier, so I know it's now. Maybe it's even something silly like just the title cards.
Maybe.
I had a double up of audio there, which is fun.
Such a
Oh, there it
beautiful
is,
ship.
directed by Roxanne Dawson. Interestingly, not going by Roxanne Biggs Dawson anymore. Previously married to, Damar.
I'm seriously considering buying a model of the NX-01. It's actually very pretty.
It is a very nice model.
The Eagle Moss model for it, the NX-01 for some reason is the best quality model they made of the hero ships. I bought all the Enterprises, and the NX-01 is just the best made.
What's the scale? Let me Google it.
May
Well,
I
relative
also
to each
already
other, they're
taken it?
completely out of scale, but...
Yeah, but what's the scale? How large is it? Oh,
Oh god, I don't know.
it's
They have like a
pretty-
4-inch model and an 8.5-inch model.
Mhm. Damn, it's nice.
They're all scaled to the same size as opposed to the same physical scale.
But like the NX-01, it's majority metal where the others are majority plastic.
Hmm.
Because the
Is it
saucer is like the whole ship.
pre-repa- Is it pre-repairs or post-repairs model?
Pre-repair.
They did have. See the deflector
Look, I don't know
dish. I
the-
cannot find a picture.
Contrary to what
The
you might think
deflector
from my
dish
having
shitty.
a Star Trek channel and talking about Star Trek all the time, I don't actually pay that close attention to the ships.
I do. Okay, I'm the Rutherford fan. I'll say it proudly. I'm the Rutherford archetype of a fan.
Archetype.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
For some reason, the H isn't pronounced. I don't know why.
Hey guys, what do
Makes
Vulcan
sense.
monks wear to bed?
I don't know.
They wear pajamas.
Oh my god.
That's a totally original joke I made myself and didn't steal from the chat. I certainly didn't steal it from Elizabeth. I would never.
Bit boo. Bit boo. Vulcans are literally elves.
I still don't get why a species that's so obsessed with logic is also so obsessed with ritual and tradition.
I'm going to make an argument against the whole Vulcans or elves thing.
Okay.
I want to punch elves in the teeth, while I only want to punch Vulcans in the kidneys.
They are
so
different to some extent. They're not exactly the same.
I'm
They
pretty
don't
sure
make
Archer
me
does make
as
at least one
angry.
reference to punching Vulcans in the face.
Probably multiple. He doesn't really like them. But I honestly do not.
It's an interesting quality painting or model or whatever it is.
I think it's CGI because they had to do the shuttle pod landing. I don't know if we actually saw the shuttle pod landing. I'm only half watching, but you know.
No, it didn't.
Maybe they had the shuttle pod landing and then they cut it, or... Because the shuttle pod is there.
Hmm.
It's on the landing pad.
Those are weird opening doors.
Why?
Because the door rotates in the middle of it, inwards and outwards.
It kind of has to
Rotate-
because it's a
goes in the
weird
middle.
shape on the outside. But it's nice. It's neat. It's very logical.
I mean, it
I
works
assume.
for a monastery, I suppose, because it's a peaceful thing.
Dude trying to look like a statue? Wait, is that Sabin? That's Sabin. The oh god, we've seen him many times already. The guy from the Drumhead, the Betazoid.
Hmm.
The Interrogator.
Let's see. Let me find a picture of the. Oh, yeah.
He's helping Admiral Satie with her witch hunt. And now he's helping the Vulcan High Command with their Andorian witch hunt. Works out great.
I'm starting to suspect that appearing as a minor character on Star Trek was such a career killer that a lot of these people only ever did Star Trek again.
Wait, that statue, did you see that? It was perched at an odd angle.
I mean, it's probably nothing. You watched the door, you looked at the door being smashed in.
I'm going to see the guy who plays Shran later in DS9, right?
Well, yeah.
I'm
Shran plays Wayun and Brunt, FCA.
I'm not there yet. I'm late season 2.
Okay, but yeah, he's gonna show up as a lot. He's gonna show up a lot. He's there all the time.
I don't know
And it's
why
great.
there is any question about something strange going on here, because the door has literally been smashed in.
Well, T'Pol did say that it was normal because it's an old monastery and it's not in perfect repair. All right, everyone look at that big face in the background. Remember the big face. It'll come back in like 30 minutes.
Foreshadowing.
Chekhov's giant face. How come they never
Chekhov's
bashed Jeffrey
cold
over the head with
vodka.
the Stone of Jakar?
Out of respect.
But it could be a
Or
Chekhov's
Jeffrey.
rock. Well, they could bash one of the other Andorians, like the one who's assaulting T'Pol, who's being all creepy. We could hit him over the head with a rock. A blue man. Have you guys been to the San Francisco Zoo?
No,
guess
because they don't have my favorite gorilla.
Harambe? I mean, I was going to say you probably haven't gone because you don't sound American. You don't sound like you're from around San Francisco.
No, I'm not.
And you said multiple times where you are from, and it wasn't San Francisco. Well, you know, you never know. Maybe you visited. Maybe Michael, but Michael doesn't want to talk to us today.
Well, I'm the better Michael, and I'm nowhere near San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, I told you before that we're only allowed to have one Michael, but if this Michael's not actually here, then you're Michael now. Congratulations.
I've been promoted.
Oh god, if someone named Ryan joins, I'm gonna have to kick them.
There's so many
There's
repeats
Jeffrey.
of names at my
What
uni.
up, man? Oh, there's the terrible guy.
Love him. Does
Not Archer,
anyone
the
not
blue man.
love Shren? Does anyone not love Shren?
I don't know. If there are, they're not worth listening to. To seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Sorry, this is the Enterprise era, where no man has gone before. Oh, look at that expression. That's why we love you, Jeffrey. Your lovely facial expressions. No, they're not. No, they're not very well armed at
Yeah,
all.
they're not.
That's
They
a
couldn't even
recurring
take
plot
on
point.
one of your ships. They've just got torpedoes
Not even
against your
close.
shields. I mean, they could do some serious damage to the monastery, but that was about it.
Yeah, they could, like, launch a torpedo, but is it even an antimatter torpedo? What are their torpedoes here?
No,
They're
it's
spatial torpedoes. But what does that mean? Yeah, why is this guy such a creep? Is this Rick Berman? Is that you?
Wait,
Is that a Rick Berman
self-insert?
self-insert? Leave her alone. Star Trek spatial torpedo. What is a spatial torpedo?
They do get proto-photon torpedo. No, not whatever they're called.
Yeah, they call them
Star
photons.
torpedoes.
Later point.
They call them photons. Or they might say photonic.
Yeah, they're photonic torpedoes in Enterprise.
Really ticked me off when they
That's
just called
racist
them
from
photons
July.
in the 2009 movie.
What about the 2009 movie?
It ticked me off when Kirk just said one photon each.
Ah. Well, you wouldn't want to waste ammunition.
Bayashi. Yeah, you don't want to waste ammunition. But specifically the wording one photon each just felt off.
Why is that off? Oh, because you're for like one ray of light each?
Single H bar omega.
My god. Why are you so rude about it, man? They're trying to help.
Vulcans just arrived without announcing.
Smelly humans. Yes, it should be, Reed. Thank you. It should be standard procedure. Though, Malcolm, I feel like that's something you could do without asking. Like, every time you show up to the planet, you
Yeah.
can just start scanning.
I love how they're coming up with all these procedures, which are
Yeah.
actually standard procedure today.
I think that on the ranking of undeveloped characters on this show, Malcolm is like number 2, right between Mayweather and Sato.
I like how in your accent, Malcolm, it's pronounced the same way that T'Pol pronounces it in A Dream. She says, like, a Vulcan word for serenity is Malcolm. Do you secretly speak Vulcan?
No, but I can say several impolite words in Klingon.
I thought all words in Klingon were impolite. Oh, giant face. Remember the giant face.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure the audience saw it. And of course, there's an
find it hard
intake
to believe
here.
that the
Where...
Andorians haven't heard of Earth if they're monitoring Vulcan communications.
Yeah.
They've literally been there for 70 years, discussing Earth for 70 years.
I guess the Andorians just don't take interest in the primitives that the Vulcans are hanging out with.
I have
Sure.
a better theory. We know that multiple people on the Vulcan Science Council, the current ruling one, are very xenophobic, and some of them are constantly preparing for a confrontation with the Andorians. They have been concealing the existence of humans and only discussing it on encrypted channels
Until the time is right to unleash the humans on the
Yeah.
galaxy.
Yeah, you got it.
Also, the guy who does that, the member of the High Command who wants to invade Andoria, he's also the guy who tried to stage a coup on Earth in DS9. Oh wait, you haven't gotten there yet.
I'm on my way there. It's okay.
He plays an evil character in DS9 as well. He plays literally the same character, but he's a human.
Fair enough. Could be a distant descendant.
Maybe. Okay, Reed is third in command. No, fourth, because Tucker is third. But he's down there.
It's like Geordi is technically the senior officer on the Enterprise after Riker, but he's not really third in command because he's got his hands full.
He's busy. He's got work to do.
Yeah. Women to simulate.
Doors to roll under.
The door roll.
Gotta practice. Do you think when he eventually did get with Leah, or at least in that alternate timeline, do you think they practiced rolling under doors together? Why you gotta bring that up? Surely Vulcans would smell worse because they live on a desert. Well, I was going to say maybe they sweat more, but no, if they live on a desert planet, they probably sweat less on other areas because it's not as hot.
That Koreans have a rare gene which makes about half of them have sweat that is not stinky. So I must conclude that Vulcans are actually space Koreans.
I see. That's rude. I'm not even sure what the antennas actually do. They like to point them at people sometimes. If you lose one, you get disoriented.
I'm going to assume that they're like insect antennas, feeling the slightest changes in air motion. Or maybe they're just there for show, I don't know.
They're just there to point at people. They're expressive. We mean no offense. What defines technology in this case? Because I mean, they've got blankets and they've got those big lanterns and they've got tools and statues and
By
torches.
technology, they mean electronics.
Well, they should be more specific.
So
Is it
these
logical to
Vulcans are
keep your
now
honor
direct-
dead?
These Vulcans are now directly leading the humans and Andorians to the listening post.
Why do they have a slidey wall? Is that the only way to the listening post? Do intelligence operatives have to go through the magic hidey hole?
Assumedly.
Because they don't have transporters, I don't think. Because humans are the only ones crazy enough to come up with that idea. And actually try it without...
Klingons use them. Klingons do use them later in the series.
Klingons are also crazy and reckless. The reckless species are the only ones who are willing to commit suicide by going through a transporter.
True.
Everyone else is like, nope, screw that, we'll take a shuttle. This is fine. Bye.
Not only that, the shuttle is armed and a safe place to get back to. Though I suppose it is only one place you can get back to. Whereas transporter, you can just beam off from wherever you are.
Ooh, foam. Painted foam. Also, why a torch? Is it a ritual torch? Is it logical to have a torch when lanterns last so much longer?
It's for the ambience.
Is it logical to keep the corpse of Master Haydock? What does that do for you?
Ambience, just like the torch.
Fellas.
Oh man.
The only touches, Darren.
Yeah, he's just
The
gonna
funny
fix your
part is
radio.
that it's a movie prop torch, so there's a fuel canister hidden in that pole feeding into the
Yes.
torch itself.
Maybe they could have a real light source. Well, this is real light, but you know what I mean. A real object if they used a lantern. Because lanterns are better.
True.
In every way.
Torches might be brighter, but they're going to last like 5% of the time. You don't need a giant flame. You just need a little flame.
So lanterns are actually a huge humanitarian crisis.
Well, that's okay, because they're not humans, they're Vulcan.
Still using lanterns as their primary source of light.
I mean, I'm not saying lanterns are better than flashlights, but if your choice is between a torch and a lantern, you 100% want the lantern.
Is there not someone
Unless
in
you're
the
a
room
Brit
as
and
well?
use the word torch incorrectly. What's the point of having a torch and a torch be different things?
So, do you think Shran is the best Jeffrey Combs character, or is Shran
It's between
the
Shran and
best
Wayoon.
Jeffrey Combs character? Really? Oh, his two most played roles.
What I'm hearing as a person who hasn't experienced Wayoon yet is that Wayoon is pretty bloody cool.
Everybody loves Wayoon.
Yes. They killed him,
So-
and that was a mistake, and that's the whole reason why I bought.
Hang on. He doesn't know. Try to limit your discussions on who Wayoon is and what he does. Other
Yeah,
than
I'll get
he's
there.
pretty wizard.
They didn't give me a big cup of salsa at the Mexican restaurant. I'm bummed.
Make your own salsa. Get a 32-ounce jar of salsa. It's not a big deal. It's salsa.
No, their salsa is really good.
I
Oh,
hate
they
Their
told
roast.
salsa is better than the.
Hey,
Yes, I have
The gang.
sincere reviews here.
Yes,
Hi.
and Etch Studios, who wants to show up his model spaceships.
Hello there.
but more importantly, Jeffrey Shran is here.
Jeffrey Shran.
Everybody loves
I
Jeff.
keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that I also heard him in Lower Decks.
Yes, he was the evil robot.
He was the evil How.
Technical question: when you serve on the Cerritos or on any California class ship, how do you move between the main section and the drive section? How
Very
do you
well.
reach the engineering deck?
In theory,
Quickly.
there is a turbo lift.
Transporter. Just transporter.
Yeah, it has to be transporters.
You swim through cetacean ops. We finally saw it. We finally got cetacean
Yes.
ops.
Oh, isn't Cetacean Ops based on just some throwaway quote that some extra in the
Yes.
background mispronounced?
It's also on the
No.
diagrams of the
It's on the diagrams of the
Enterprise D.
Enterprise D.
Yeah.
And there's little pictures of dolphins on the diagram.
Yeah.
Oh, now
Somebody
I know.
actually made a escape pod system for them, where it like sucks them into a tube and then ports them over to an escape
According
pod
to the
with water.
diagram,
Why wouldn't you
there's-
just
there's-
eject Cetacean Ops?
There are 4 large pools of cetacean ops, and 2 pools are connected with a life pod in the middle, according to the diagram.
Oh.
And then
The
the other 2 are
diagram
connected to
makes
each
us
other.
consider one more thing. Because of the diagram, we have to assume that depending on which class of starship you're flying in, you get different mammals. If you're cool and you have a sovereign class, you get dolphins. But if you're kind of second-rate, fourth-rate, and you get a California class,
You get like a
you only get
walrus or
belugas.
a dugong.
Manatee.
You got they got
Manatee.
belugas there.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Actually, they just pause it.
Yeah, beluga.
Yes.
That's
But,
so rude to Paul.
That must be after Star Trek 4 when they that they required.
I wonder if that was
Higher life
was a
forms.
mistake from, and then they just kept it.
You probably don't want an actual whale as a navigator. Just a small sea mammal.
Warp
Like a
echolocation
manatee.
is how it works.
Not in space, it's not. You can't echolocate in space.
I was reading that some of these whales could actually communicate over like thousands of miles, and that our shipping has disrupted their ability to communicate. We're
Yes.
cutting off huge.
We're completely screwing over the
populations.
whales.
Yeah, just this noise from our shipping, like not the pollution or the noise, the props is destroying their ability to communicate.
Yeah, our noise bothers a lot of fish. It used to be nice and quiet.
We should develop aquatic impulse engines.
Speaking of aquatics, in Stellaris, the Space Grand Strategy game, we're going to be getting aquatics. An aquatic species pack. So, maybe we can play as all cetacean ops. Oh yeah, that's totally CGI.
I like this Vulcan sanctuary because they were never supposed to be here, and Enterprise even coming here causes a huge international incident.
Interstellar.
Yes, Interstellar.
When you think about it, Archer's lust for seeing some, cool Vulcan temples is literally the reason the Federation exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy was literally going down Route 66 and he was like, hey, it's the Rock and Roll Museum if we take a right here
Oh,
and
look, it's a
delay
giant
our
face.
arrival by 12 hours. We're going to take this exit. We're going to go look at the guitars they used in Led Zeppelin, and there you go, Federation.
I just learned, you guys have probably already said this, but those antennae were each independently controlled by a different remote control operator.
Yes, they're puppeteered.
Yeah.
That's actually impressive.
It is quite impressive.
And this is only 2001, by the way. Like, Bluetooth couldn't work
Yeah.
right.
It's radio, yeah.
Wow.
Bluetooth. They're all blue.
But their teeth aren't blue.
Yes, they are.
I don't think that's true.
It
I don't remember ever seeing Jeff smile in this, but I'll keep an eye
You'll
out.
see his teeth are blue. And the reason they're blue is because they to the length of like making their gums, they're like the inside of their lips blue, and I think that the dye just rubbed off on their teeth. But yes, they have blue teeth.
Teeth are also easily stained.
The requirement for that entire mechanism for moving the antennas made it so, starting with Enterprise, all Andorians canonically have a huge 7-head, which is like 4-head, but 3 more.
Wow. 3
Look
more.
at them. Just look at that guy. Not Trent, the other guy.
It
He
was-
looks like
Very
In
wrinkly.
the '90s, Marvel had a Starfleet Academy comic book, and it had Nog in it at Starfleet Academy. So it was like while Nog was at Starfleet Academy, and he had an Andorian female roommate. Interesting things happened.
Are you gonna make my stream weird? Do I need to cut off this story?
No, I cut it off myself.
Okay.
It's interesting if you are into comics, and you can find it.
There was a man in Kenton, Ohio, who had a ball of string 6 meters in diameter.
Hang on, I'm looking at his teeth right now. They look not white, but they look a normal color.
I think the episode where he fights Archer later on is
But
you can really see
if
they're
he's fighting
blue.
Archer, you'd probably see his teeth because he's like bleeding from his face with blue blood.
we can assume
Does
they
he have
have
blue blood?
copper,
Yeah,
they have
they have blue blood.
copper-based hemoglobin. I'm assuming.
Well, wouldn't that
Oh,
make it green? Isn't that what Vulcan's copper hemoglobin?
Yeah.
I don't know
What
why
would
their
make it
blood is blue,
blue?
but when Shrek gets
Well-
impaled on a spike in the ice caves, it's very blue.
Yeah, it's,
Our
it's
blood
don't
is
know-
blue. Just when it
I don't know
oxidizes, it
about
turns red.
Vulcans. I don't know about Vulcans, but in actual real life, some crab species have blue blood because of the copper-based.
Yeah, it's very expensive blood too.
Mm-hmm. And
It's
that's
used
why
in medical
sometimes.
research. It's one of the most expensive liquids on the planet.
Yep.
Horseshoe crab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been around since the dinosaurs. It's like they're basically the same trilobite fossils we find from the dawn of life
That
on
torch
Earth.
looks like it's made of metal.
Yes,
and that's a pretty
they
big
have
flame.
a cap. Yeah, the cap is made of metal. The handle is made of wood.
It didn't look
I
like the
assume that
handle
was for
was made
safety.
of wood.
Because pyrotechnics is pretty dangerous to have on set.
Just ask Alec Baldwin.
Also, the funny part here is
Why is it that Hoshi is the person doing the transport?
Because she's available. Don't worry about it. She has a contract. So these are the first on-screen deaths in Enterprise. On-screen deaths.
mhm.
And of course, it's enlisted men.
The-
Star
the-
Trek just hates the enlisted men.
And they're dead. Those 3 people are now dead.
We've had
That's fine.
Archer transported before this, you realise?
Archer-
right?
Oh,
Transported.
yeah, we transported him off the helix. Dang it.
Okay.
Okay, this is the second on-screen death in Enterprise.
Nice knowing you.
That the lack of unlisted in Star Trek.
I can see a
Also had
tiny bit of
transporter man with the
trans
leaves.
Do the Vulcans not have transporters and the Andorians not have transporters?
Yeah,
right
they
now?
don't have them.
Andorians do not have them.
Neither of them
Paul
do.
said that earlier. in the
Humans
episode.
and Klingons
So-
are the only
what?
species reckless enough to kill themselves by going through a transporter.
To be fair,
I just wonder, like,
be
why
fair,
the Vulcans don't ask the teams for it. Sorry, go ahead.
That'd be
Because
embarrassing.
yeah, the Vulcans would never ask the humans for technology.
How about a
Humans
trade?
have a lot of ingenuity.
And also
Frankly,
we had the
even
other
if the
guy,
Vulcans asked,
beamed
humans
up
would probably
with
just
the-
refuse out of spite to give it to them.
We had the guy beamed up with the branches inside him.
Yeah, but that wasn't on an
Like,
on-screen
just-
death. He was still alive on-screen, and then he died off-screen.
Your point was that when they transport, they die.
Dang it.
They establish
Stop
They
ruining
established that-
my statements.
the Vulcans don't explore just for the sake of exploring. Like they actually couldn't care less about comets, for example.
They're actually
They don't
just a
wanna
violent
investigate.
expansionist race, really.
Just like in Tolkien, since the humans have short lifespans, the humans are the get shit done species, whereas everybody has such long lives. They're like, things are okay.
We'll get
whatever.
around to it.
We'll
Yeah.
take it. Yeah, it'll happen when it happens.
Next
That's
century
how
will
the
be fine.
Vulcans-
There's gonna
Oh,
blow
wait.
a hole in this.
The getting around to it species is shown in humans by Commander Tucker. He was getting around to that scratch in the paint. It'll happen when it happens. God, why does this guy exist in the show?
Do a really creepy
This is
way of
not-
hitting onto Paul.
This is not how you pick up women on dating apps. You don't offer to kill someone for them.
Well, he points out it's the
Especially
Vulcans.
people that they like.
Unless
Well,
they're
I
into
mean,
that, I
the-
guess. I don't know.
Getting real close to them and whispering in their ear when they clearly
Yeah.
don't like you is also not a good way to
Yeah.
attract
No.
anyone.
Bad.
You gotta
idea.
have some personal space.
One really cool thing this does, right? Because in this, there is tension between the three main groups that later form the Federation, which is Vulcans,
guy's dead.
Andorians.
I think that person's dead. Yeah.
He has to be dead because the Andorian traitor lady. Wait, no, he's fine.
He's
Why is he okay? The Andorian traitor lady later says that it doesn't have a stun setting. It's all kill all the time. And he got shot like 2 or 3 times.
Well, it's like MAME. It's not like it's not necessarily lethal unless it hits. It's more like a gun than it is a
He got shot in the
instant
heart.
kill device.
Yep, but I read that the episode Shuttle Pod 1 was written because the show ran out of budget basically in the middle of the season. And so
Yeah,
they
it's the
needed
classic bubble episode.
yeah, which is one of the most beloved episodes. But they just needed 2 people who bonded together in one episode without too much set change. So I can see why they ran out of money because of big radio antennas on their heads and gorgeous temples and relics.
yeah.
I just
So I
checked-
wasn't here.
Robes. Sorry.
Go ahead. Fine.
I wasn't here when they landed, but I remember that the scene when they landed is all CG, but they treat it like a matte painting where the camera has one fixed position and the shuttle
Yeah.
pod comes in, and I'm like, they could have had the camera pan and give us a couple a 3/4 view of the tempo, do something with it. They literally just treated the CG like a matte painting, and I don't know if that's they're really sticking to Star
Yeah.
Trek.
That's what Star
Or
Trek
they're
is. You
just-
have one single camera shot and you don't move for the love of God.
Yeah, either you appreciate it because they're sticking to what Star Trek is, or they just completely misuse the tools they had available to them.
Yeah.
It decreases render time significantly if you leave the background still. That's probably why they did it.
Yeah,
You just
Yeah,
render the
I do,
background
yes.
once as a picture, and then you can render the shuttle pod moving through it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
that shit happens overnight when I'm asleep. I don't care.
Yeah, that's
They
Yeah, but these
care.
guys,
They're
it
paying
took quite
money
a
for this.
while for them to render things.
Yeah.
Also, they had a lot of money for this episode, so it's not like they couldn't have.
But they
I'd
didn't.
say.
Well,
They
that's
didn't
more of a
have
time
to.
thing than a money thing.
They're putting out one of these a week.
This is amazing. All this set design.
What do you do for prop cobwebs? You can't just like leave them underground for several months and hope you get cobwebs eventually. What?
Silly string.
What?
Maybe
are
that's where the CG budget went. Amazingly rendered cobwebs.
Wow! Look at how it works perfectly with the lighting. It even moves when Paul moves her arm across it.
Those are amazing cobwebs. But I think Sergeant, you said something, but you sound a little bit underwater.
I decided to look up prop cobwebs, and it's a
Uh-huh.
real thing that you can actually make at home. But the actual thing that I realized after looking up on several sources is that everyone completely glosses over the fact that the first confirmed case of a half-human hybrid embryo in the Alpha Quadrant is the conception by Commander Tucker.
Yeah.
It's a historic moment. He literally boldly goes where nobody went before.
He's in history. But I love this scene because the way Archer
Ooh,
stops the
CG.
firefight is telling the Andorians that they were right in their suspicions.
So this is
Scene
why
in
the landing
general.
scene was just a static shot, because they needed all the money for this CG shot.
Yeah.
I love the guy just going down the walkway and turning around.
What are you looking at on the
Literally,
walkway?
yeah,
What's he doing?
Nobody was reacting to the firefight at the door of this secret facility.
That hit
Yeah,
the
that's true.
door as well.
They didn't hit the lock on it.
There wasn't like a security team rushing to the door, hearing that the firefights outside, and
This is very cowboy kind of scene.
That was some
Pilgrim.
good punch acting.
I kind of
Apparently,
miss
that Vulcan
was
was not trained in combat.
No, he's a monk.
No, specifically not.
He's not like a D&D monk where he punches people 7 times. To who? There are 2 hymns here. Which hymn?
It would be Shren.
Yeah, but she could have been like, "Oh, I'll just,
Give it to Reed, the tactical officer. Seems like a solid plan. There you go.
yeah."
Humans are great because they're an impartial mediator.
Yes,
You should not
we
be
get that
using a
later.
religious building for military or intelligence purposes.
But
It
it's
should just
so
remain for your-
conveniently located.
No, she said it was 900 years old, so I don't think they were spying on them the whole time.
Why is it even under the monastery? They have a whole planet. They could put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to make too much sense.
I think the sensors couldn't penetrate subterranean granite layers or whatever.
They could put it underground somewhere else. It doesn't have to be the monastery.
Yeah, true.
This
then
is
you'd
the
have to
one
have
and
some kind
only
of
cavern on the
entrance.
planet, and they didn't want to dig out a new one.
Okay.
But they would have had some kind of evidence on the surface that there was an entrance.
I just realized during
know
all
what's
4 seasons of Enterprise.
Oh, this
Did
is
we
why it's
ever
CG.
see-
Oh, wait, that is
It is the
composite.
Chatelaine.
Slowly pans. Slowly pans.
Whoa.
No, that's composite.
Okay.
They did only render the background once. You could see a little bit of an outline around the shuttle where it didn't perfectly crop
Right.
out.
Oh, that was just pan and scan. Okay.
I don't get to listen to the.
In all 4
And in-
seasons of Enterprise, did we ever see an onboard hairdresser or barber?
No.
Mm-mm.
Because in the Next Generation we did, so
Yeah, but
that makes sense.
Who
Yeah,
would
but
have
here,
that on a
Well,
ship
always
with
has
thousands?
perfect
hang on.
hair.
We're queuing up for the next episode. Everyone get ready to watch Breaking the Ice, episode 7. Okay, 1 minute.
now you know what Chef does in
Right.
enough time.
Yeah, that makes sense. It has to be. It can
It
only
would
be
just
Chef.
be a member of the crew, or the crew members. themselves.
He wears the same coat and everything.
Oh, nasty. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Oh, what are we having for dinner tonight in the captain's mess? Oh, capellini.
Anyway, how do you guys feel about snowballs? And snowmen? They're
They're
pretty
not going to
neat.
exist
I-
anymore.
I hate them.
Are they coarse and rough and irritating, or what?
They're beautiful because no two snowflakes are alike.
That's not true.
Everybody get ready to press play
When
in
you-
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play.
Managed to not.
After a few years of annually shoveling 26 metric tons of white bullshit, you get sick of seeing snow in any form.
The Amazon
You don't need to shovel if you don't go anywhere.
trivia says this takes place in 2151, which is kind of cool. It's like the next century, actually.
130 years from...
There's a really nice electric bass guitar in the background of this song that I never noticed before.
It appears to be back. It's very, very low quality.
Refresh your page. Well, I mean, the
It's
quality doesn't really
low
matter.
quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working now. It defaults
It's
to low
working.
quality, but it is working.
All right. We turned it off
Fate
and
of
on
the heart.
again. We fixed it.
Everything
Down a
is
tip,
fine.
Fix-
Just in time for
turn
the
it
end
off
of
and
the
on.
intro.
Oh, trivia says the solar system.
Unfortunately, while the stream was dead, you didn't hear our lovely rendition of "It's a Long Road." Anyway, about the solar system.
It was rendered in German. It was written in German. In the intro scene.
What?
I think when they have the letters like the Da Vinci or whatever, like an old etching
that.
of the solar system. Yeah, Copernicus.
Oh, Ryan. So remember how you said to try something new? Well, I tried
Yes.
something new at the Mexican restaurant, and I regret it. I wish I just ordered my regular thing because I don't like this at all.
It perfectly explains your attitude towards Star Trek. You don't like new things in general. It's not just the show. You don't
Well,
like new
actually,
foods.
guys,
You
I
don't like new games.
I love new things.
You'd make a good
You
Vulcan
explicitly told me that you don't like new things.
because they don't care
Yes.
about this comet either. Like what?
You're still playing a monk in D&D. Come on. You're not
I
the
said
first
you
said
should
when
try
I
a
find
different class,
something-
and you
I
said
said
you
when
don't
I
want to try
find-
something else because you like this, and you don't like things that are different. Oh look, pecan pie.
I said when I find something I like, I stick with it.
Human beings naturally find comfort in the same thing, in some way. But we also, if we ate the same thing every day, we'd wind up hating it. So we also are evolutionary designed to find like new sources of nutrition and survival.
That's an interesting way around the replicator thing. It's essentially just like a what's it called? I don't know what the machines are called off the top of my head, but we have the machines which dispense the liquids
Vending
and
machines?
things. No,
Well, not a
specifically,
vending
like,
machine, but yeah,
the-
it
for
dispenses
drinks.
multiple different liquids from the same thing.
yeah.
Yeah. A drink dispenser.
All right. You said you're talking to a guy that ate the same lunch for 7 years in a row. I find a thing I like and I stick with it.
Wow.
You gotta try some new things sometimes.
I mean, I eat pizza for lunch every day.
That seems unhealthy.
As if Lost Judgment.
Though you could just refer to what
on YouTube.
you could just
He's
refer to
changed-
what
now
Commander
changed his
Tucker
YouTube
said.
name.
It may not be good for the body, but it sure is good for the soul.
Yeah, it's comfort. It's very comforting for me to like have cheese and tomato and bread. One thing T'Pol says she's used to, but she's clearly not, is the smell of humans. Which is kind of funny. Which is, like I would just imagine because dogs are very sensitive. So if dogs can smell us, I'm just glad I'm not a dog.
Well, if you were a dog,
I
you
mean,
would
if
love the
you-
smell
if
of
you-
humans.
If you had to spend your all of your days in an enclosed space full of only other species, you would notice the smell.
True. And also, but the evolutionary wise, if you're on all fours, you use smell a lot more because you can't see something coming through the tall grass of the savannah, for example. But if you're standing up, you use vision more to identify.
Oh, this is not going to go well.
It would be so hard to make TV if we were smell dependent. You can't have a smell screen.
I mean, we can. We have tried different things.
And you have to like have a canister of different smell materials that it can throw at you.
Ew. And then, but also the TV would be like 5 inches because, like, if you were on all fours, you could. There's no point of looking up that much. These Vulcans kind of remind me of the Zhat Vash. It's like a
Wait, what?
well, like unorthodox Vulcans, unorthodox Romulans. Like they're
If you say so.
sect. Like she identifies the name of their sect over here.
He's not even part of a sect though. He's just a dick.
Okay.
Being rude isn't some secret cult.
Sorry, I got confused.
I do like the design of the Vulcan ships.
They're so mean.
They don't do
Vulcan
simple
ships
niceties.
look nice.
Yeah, actually, that was amazing design for that Vulcan ship. Like the circle and the thing through it.
The donut on a stick.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps they're simply curious. Yeah, Vulcans don't really do curiosity. That's not their thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
Spock
Vulcan
does,
captain
but that's
literally
not
just
because he's a Vulcan.
They just like
This
to
is
spy.
fascinating all the time.
that Vulcan captain literally just said, we found this comet, and we came over because you were interested in it, and we just want to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Last episode, they were spying on Andorians. This episode, they're spying on humans. Next episode, they'll be spying on humans again, probably.
Right,
at
and
least they told the humans that they're spying on them.
Yes.
No, last episode they didn't give the humans the correct star charts because they purposely withhold information whenever they feel like. They think they can put parental controls on your internet.
Which is why they'll never ask for transporter technology.
Maybe they still don't have it in the 24th century. I mean, we don't canonically see them ever use them, right?
Well, not everybody follows the same tech tree. You can invent things in a different order. It's not a big deal.
They're still working on black powder.
Some people invent education before they invent rockets. Some people don't. Maybe you save pottery for Endgame. Now, this comet landing is somewhat disappointing compared to the real life unmanned comet landing. The real life comet landing was launching a harpoon at it and reeling it in.
Pretty
and it
much.
was great. This
It
is
was.
just, you land it. Who cares? Just drop
Didn't I
yourself
read
down.
that
No.
something? Didn't I read something that doing that made it like possibly go on a collision course with Earth in 1,000 years or something?
No, it's not going to collide with Earth.
Imagine if NASA did
1,000 years
that.
from
They
now, who
launched a
cares?
comet and they were like, whoops, that's going to hit Earth in like 50 years. Sorry about that.
And even if it was 1,000 years, in 1,000 years' time, we're either here when we can stop it or we're not, and it doesn't matter to us anyway.
Well, if they'd done it, we would have spent the next 1,000 years developing technology to just. Well, we would have just sent another
We
one
have the
there.
technology. We can just send another probe
Yeah,
and
we
run
just-
into it.
Pop it again.
If
Just
it's small
budge
enough
it
to have
back
been
into
adjusted
orbit.
that
There we
much,
go.
Yeah, if it was small enough to have been adjusted enough to Earth, then we can just do the same thing again.
Yeah. Although we'd probably overreact and nuke it or something.
Oh,
How
T'Pol's
long
getting
before
secret messages.
We put like a defense network in space to deflect objects like this, and then it gets misused to actually attack other countries. We just deflect a small rock towards one of our enemies, and
That would
What
cause
a
serious damage
tragedy. Who
elsewhere,
could have
wouldn't
foreseen this terrible accident? Oh, I know what this is. This is the scene that you get to point to when people make fun of the line from Discovery about what apples are made of. when Tucker talks about how the resequencers work and recycling.
This is something which we do today, and it's quite funny.
Yeah.
Like Tim Peake did it when he went to the ISS.
It is quite reminiscent of the ISS things.
Wait, you're in space, you gotta recycle. Unfortunately, unlike the ISS, they cannot live stream and chat to people.
They are quite
Not
far
quite
away.
at this point.
What if instead they just had huge cargo containers and they just had like a big pile of trash behind them everywhere they went? They just vented it all into space. There's just waste and garbage.
That's the
and-
Malon. We already have that species, and they're the worst.
But let's be honest, we're much more likely to do that. It'd be hard to recycle everything.
Replicate certain foods with our protein resequencer.
That is an interesting point, because they made a very specific point in Enterprise of making it fit with TOS. That seems to be a particular outlier.
Well, TOS has something like that. I don't know what it's called because I don't really watch TOS, but they have something that can make food. It might just be called a food slot because it was the 60s. Yeah, Travis can't be here because he's down having a snowball fight. As is Malcolm. Glad Phlox is here, though. Do you want to tell that traumatic story about how you almost got the ship destroyed by saying the wrong thing, Hoshi? Remember that? You were going to be harvested for your blood and put on a tube, on a spike, on a hook, on a ceiling.
What?
Where does it go, Tucker? You got a recycle trip.
It's a perfectly valid question.
No, I really feel for Chris Hadfield because it's like you have a YouTube channel and then also you have to deal with people who ask about like flat earth and stuff like that, and you're like, it's like it's very disappointing how little people think of you and your time and your life's work.
Okay, it gets processed through a machine called a biomatter resequencer. Gets broken down into whatever they need, really.
I love this because I don't remember this, and for me, when in Discovery, when the Admiral points out that the apples are made from their own waste, we eat our shit. He specifically says, bluntly, that was a really amazing and funny moment for me. But here he says the same thing.
And I mean, of course, the person already knew that. I'm sure she knows how replicators work, but you don't want to be reminded of it while you're eating. You don't want your steak to look up at you and say, "I used to be a cow."
Right. And
you don't want it to look up at you and say, "I used to be poo."
Well, the thing is, though, frankly, with water scarcity being what it is, we're all gonna have to start recycling our wastewater at some point. So
we are recycling our
grossed
wastewater
out.
right now.
Yeah. So if you're grossed out, just get used to it.
And apparently, some people didn't visit their local wastewater reclamation facility as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot less disgusting when you think about how like it gets mixed in with billions of gallons of water. So,
Yeah, the chemistry of it's fine. Like, it's just water now.
Just don't think about it. It's water. It's not a big deal. Some of the water inside your body used to be inside Hitler.
I mean, there is a stat that the same water molecules go through a person at least 3 times if you live in a city like London, for example. So, I think that was a stat at some point.
Sounds right. I mean, this is all filler, but it's nice filler. I like it.
I
Yeah.
like it too.
Yeah. Did he?
Not
He
everything
cut
has
off
to be all
Fox, right?
dramatic.
Fox was trying to over-explain and stuff, right?
No,
Yes,
Can't remember.
Phlox is having his. Phlox gets to talk about
a lot of the
medicine, and he's
doctors-
gonna go.
A lot of the
I-
doctors tend to do that. The Doctor in Voyager does it. Bashir does it a bit.
That's true on Earth. Trip.
Yeah,
That is-
okay.
That is
In
a
a
trash
comment,
snowman.
it's
That is the worst
essentially
snowman
just
I've
a
ever seen.
comment.
but
There's nothing which sort of replenishes it.
I feel like
In
the
fact, if
Q&A
anything,
they
ice
did-
goes away at a time in a comment. Anyway, yeah, proceed.
No, it's okay.
Why is he so bad at making you make? It's not a pyramid. You don't make a pyramid of snow. It's a
Like,
ball
is he from
of
the
snow.
moon or something? Like,
He was born on a spaceship.
Okay.
He's a
okay.
space boomer.
Oh, I see. That explains it.
Maybe they couldn't get the balls to roll and stick together, so you just made a
Gravity's
mound.
difficult. And
It's not-
just-
It's not water ice or water
No.
snow, is it?
But
No.
by the way, speaking of gravity, how are they walking around freely? This is a comet. It doesn't have a lot of mass.
Right.
What's the deal?
They must have like weights in there.
They
their
have
boots.
ice gravity boots.
So what you do is, gravity plating. You just make gravity plating the size of your foot. You put it on the
Yeah.
bottom of your shoe, and
Yeah.
it holds you to the ground instead of the ground
Yeah,
holding
you put
you
it
down.
upside. You put the gravity plating upside down, so you're pulling the comet to you.
Ah.
Ah.
He's
Well,
going to do
he's
this in
pulling-
the
he's pulling-
open.
You
And
know,
because it's all
I-
relative, it doesn't matter if you pull the comet to you or you to the comet. It's all the same.
Right. Well, since you've got a lot less mass, you're going to pull down to it. So
I mean, they more or less show that in Star Trek 6, right? When they go aboard the Klingon vessel when they've lost gravity, and then they turn on their boots.
Yeah,
which
but
cause them to.
they're magnetic. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Same.
I think the gravity plating system works better.
True. Yeah,
Very
magnetic boots are
personal.
different than gravity boots. I forgot. I'm confusing electromagnetism with gravity. But it's the same principle, right? There must be some kind of coil that you wrap around, and that creates the gravity.
I'm just saying that they call them magnetic boots, and they always say magnetize your boots or whatever. But that would be pointless because they have the gravity plating technology. So they just put that technology in the boots, and then you can stick to any surface.
So here's dating tip number 157 or whatever we're on. If you ever have to use the line "forced me to start snooping," you're probably not in the right.
Nope.
Mm.
Yeah, and by the way,
Maybe don't
if you
snoop.
were snooping, that is actually not helpful in your position. You may as well just give up because this person is not going to be into you once they find out that you've been all up in their business for no reason.
Casually joking about shooting your coworkers.
Only on the stun setting.
It's still a gun.
Just
Yeah.
enough to get away.
This was 2001, so that was okay.
Wait, who are you talking to, Tucker? Are you talking to the blonde man?
The other dude there's just like, he never talks to me, can't be me.
That is exactly what he's thinking.
Ever since that poker night, I cleaned him out. He doesn't talk to me.
You know, I like them. Like, I didn't care for them before, but the fact that like everyone's explicitly racist and he's the most racist one originally, but then he
Who?
kind of
Tucker?
yeah.
Well, he is
Tucker?
from the south.
He's
So that's
racist?
fair.
I mean,
Whoa,
against humans and Vulcans in general, everybody on the ship has assumptions about Vulcans that they're shiesty.
The person who dislikes Vulcans the most has got to be Archer.
No, Archer's
At the
second.
beginning of this show.
Archer's second, but
Archers
Tucker's
are all
first.
diplomatic about it, though, usually.
Yeah, but it is a competition between them two. But and I'll even give you that just for sake. But what I'm saying
I
is that
think Archer has more personal investment in disliking Vulcans than Tucker does.
But racism feeds itself,
Because of his
so
father.
it becomes the conversation that, like, and he's the one who makes the analogies all the time. You're hiding stuff like a Vulcan, like keeping us back like the Vulcans. He's always the one verbalizing it.
I heard some emotion in T'Pol's voice. What was that? Loose in control, T'Pol.
Is Tucker more specious against Vulcans, or is he simply more apt to express it because he
Yeah.
has lower inhibitions?
The latter, right? Okay, I'll give you that. That's better. But first of all, T'Pol proves herself loyal to the captain, and then they are cute together, Tucker and T'Pol.
Archer.
About that.
How many times has the galaxy been destroyed?
Ice pun on a episode about a comet.
Wow. What a pun. Why do you want to make him go away? You can be friends with Captain Vanek. He's cool, right?
That might do it.
Yeah, you need sleep, T'Pol. You know this.
Yes.
If you get, like, knocked unconscious, does that work for sleep? Does that count? Or are you going to wake up still tired?
I don't know.
I mean, it is
You have
rest.
to ask a doctor.
It is rest.
Is there a doctor in the chat?
I'm pretty sure your body goes into that repair mode that it does.
Like, works hard on fixing things, so maybe it's
Yeah.
not.
You actually use more energy
If
whilst
you're
asleep than you
knocked
do during the day.
unconscious, let me Google this. Is
Does that
that
count towards
sleeping?
your
You are
sleep time?
not unconscious.
Is that your sleep time for 8
Well,
hours?
it's not sleeping, but it's,
Sleep time.
Your body is repairing itself whilst it's unconscious. That's
And
why
I
Okay.
it goes
suppose you would
unconscious.
spend the time that you're unconscious fixing, like, doing the normal sleep things it does,
Yeah.
like fix memory,
Also,
arrange
if you're
arrange memory
unconscious,
and stuff.
it's probably something knocked you out, like a head trauma or something.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure I can give you a
Going
closed head injury
unconscious
that'll knock you out,
isn't.
and you're not.
Yeah. Going unconscious
gonna
is,
have
I don't
restful
think it's because the effect, the damage itself towards you unconscious. I think it's your brain going, "Hey, I need to fix this."
Okay, right.
Maybe there's different reasons why you can get knocked unconscious, and depending on which one of those it is, will determine whether or not you get restful sleep.
No.
You might wake up and feel very rested, but have a massive headache, which is
Yeah.
fine.
And brain damage.
And brain damage, yeah.
A concussion and all those things.
But basically, the sooner the repair starts, the better. Like that helps. Like if
You
If
ever
you're
see
awake-
someone get hit,
Hang on, this show is literally
someone-
unwatchable. How dare this is just complete trash. They said they're going to make a very loud noise, but they're in space. There's not going to be any noise on the Vulcan ship.
Unless there are
Yes, in
gases that are
space,
going
no
to
one
hit the
can hear
Vulcan
you
ship
scream.
and create noise through the vibrations of the gases.
Whoa.
I can see the bottom of the CG where they masked
ahead.
it over the comet.
Yeah.
That's okay though. It looked pretty good other
This
than
is
that.
this is really cool though. It's almost like we're on the moon. Well, I don't want to make that analogy too much.
I mean, I can understand drilling into the center of a comet, but I suppose comets do pick up additional things over time as well. But they also shed a lot of it.
what? A review? You don't believe we've been to the moon?
I don't want to feed anyone who thinks that you can easily replicate that. But
Those people don't believe we went to the moon, but yet they still believe in the moon.
yeah,
What sheep?
right, sheeple. But
Most of the people who believe in the moon also believe in birds. They're just so gullible.
Yeah, but the funny thing is though, the theory is that Stanley Kubrick directed the moon landing video, and I'm like, that's a good one.
The moon is actually just a big wheel of cheese that Obama hangs up in the sky every night.
Thanks, Obama. But then you see the moon during the day as well.
That's when he takes a night off and he forgets to take it down.
It's amazing. Like I read that like NASA's ability to like send a spacecraft to Pluto and take a photograph at the exact right time is like a human being driving a car from New York to Los Angeles to the exact parking lot, like a spot in a parking lot, and just going in like one single route because you only get one shot
I mean,
when you go to space.
It's all math. You know where Pluto's going to be.
It's amazing.
It's a pretty
because-
regular
so-
orbit.
Right, but the
It's
thing
lots
is,
of math, but it's also having to get all of your burns and everything correct. All your mechanical things have
Yeah.
to work perfectly. It's a lot of work.
but it is essentially
No,
math,
they
though,
have
right?
backup burns and things as well.
Yes, but
You can make adjustments.
if an engine fails early, if you know,
The computer
there's lots
goes
of things can go wrong.
Yes.
But so the thing is, though, human beings do amazing things in space travel and development of human knowledge. So to dismiss that or diss that is actually pretty lame. And one thing I love Enterprise, it just shows like that's why they were doing the Q&A earlier. It's because like they're pioneers, and people are just so curious to know what it's like at the edge of the universe or the world.
So sometimes I hear advice that personally I don't agree with. That if you're like going on a first date to dinner, you should eat a little bit beforehand so you don't look like a pig, which sounds stupid to me, but it's something people say. But is that what Captain Vanek here did? Is he trying to impress Archer? Because he already ate before he came to dinner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's the worst guest over here because he doesn't. He's mute.
You want some food? No. You want some water? Well, yes, but do you want any tea? No. 76 years. Okay, good to know.
Wow.
It's the only Earth vessel that's actually out here, so yeah. I assume it's his first visit.
Well, he could have visited Earth and been on the other Intrepid.
He could have visited a freighter or one
weird
of
thing
those
about
Emmett-class patrol ships that just hang out next to Earth.
One weird thing about Enterprise's timing or sense of space is like they're so far out, but they're always like, yeah, the Vulcan High Command will send a ship. They'll be here in 2 days.
Well, because the
So
Vulcans
is
can go
everything
like
like
100
2
times faster.
The
okay.
Vulcans are pretty speedy. Up
Oh, wow.
6.5 versus 5 is speedy.
Oh, I see.
That's one of the main contentions. It's like, why don't you give us more warp technology? You have the warp technology. I thought we were friends.
Hmm.
I love how the captain here just said, if we wanted to spy on you, we could. You wouldn't know.
But the funny thing is, though, he acted just like a
The
spy.
launch bay,
Like
not the
a
airlock.
A spy is going to get all the information out of you, and he or she is
Yeah.
not going to say anything really about like what they're doing or what they're up to.
I think when that Vulcan translation is something like, get out of here before you destroy yourself. Or before you destroy your career. Something like that.
I think like maybe their T'Pol saw her future because 76 years is a long time, and that guy is as dry as comet ice.
Also, yeah, that was totally an emotional outburst by the captain. Completely out of control.
Wildly out of control by Vulcan standards, right? Like,
Wow, you changed the motion of the comet when you launched a massive explosive onto it. Wow, what a shock.
The
there's
stream's
no
not
fat
on here.
people on submarines.
No, there can't be because like I mean not old ones, certainly not because I've been to the Intrepid Air and Space Museum here in New York by the Navy Yard, and the World War I ones, like there you have to duck, like an average height person has to duck to go through the doors on a submarine.
I just Google imaged fat submariner, and I didn't find what I was looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
Marriages on Vulcan are arranged during childhood.
What's the logic
So-
of childhood arranged
It's okay.
marriages on Vulcan?
I just found a bunch of submariner watches. It's not what you think.
I love the candles
it's-
behind T'Pol.
It's just a bunch of Rolexes.
They remind me of Spock's.
They remind me of wasting
quarters,
oxygen on a hermetically sealed spaceship.
Star Trek 6. But It's really groovy. But yeah, he's looking real good to her right now because she doesn't want to marry who she's arranged to. But I don't know if it already happened, but Tucker asked her once, "Have you gotten used to our smell yet?" And she just doesn't say yes or no. I don't know what she's trying to say there.
Hey, Stinky.
No, God, that seems so weird.
Stinky.
No, shut up.
Stinky.
I'm gonna mute you if you say that one more time. No. That's such a weird scene. But yeah, why do they arrange marriages? What? It's not like they're making alliances between kingdom. What's the point?
I think
Where's the
Agreement
logic?
between families.
getting rid of emotions would be like just having a mate that you just like coexist with in a passionless marriage.
Yeah, it's their way of saying love is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All emotion is irrelevant.
Doesn't your culture say you're not supposed to be so emotional? You're being real emotional right now, T'Pol.
I mean, and one thing they don't actually resolve, but is there a divorce? Because if she doesn't like him, she could probably just walk away.
They're gonna end up getting married later, and then they get divorced. Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
but they're only
Oh,
gonna
so
get
she-
divorced once Koss can no longer blackmail her.
Yep.
So
It's
she's
only
Ben
logical.
Affleck here.
He marries Koss so that Koss can keep her mother in the science academy or whatever, because
Wow.
she was going to lose her position. And then when her mother died, he's like, "Well, there's no reason for you to be married to me anymore. I won't make you do it."
Bye.
Yeah.
I have no.
Wow.
At least he was good enough to be like, "I won't make you do it anymore."
Well, that's nice of him.
It's only marginally better than, you know.
Also, yeah, hang on. If
I like how his first reaction is to climb down and not just check if he's okay first.
if
case
all
you need to bring
marriages on
anything down.
Vulcan are arranged from birth as a child,
4 years old.
what happens if someone grows up and they're gay? Well, then what?
Well,
Are they- do they just have to deal with
on
it?
Vulcan, I guess it doesn't matter. You marry who you're married to. You just
That is a
you have to
problem,
repress that along with all your other emotions.
I see.
well, at least we get Tchaikovsky out of it.
Not just told to unable to breathe, mate. Come on. Why are you standing there watching the sun come up?
It's dramatic.
I want to see the sunrise.
It's
Oh,
so
look, it's already
pretty.
written.
Look at the
They
Aurora
never-
Borealis.
Because TNG ain't got nothing on
I
this.
thought he was in the crater for longer.
Do you guys want to
Ah.
keep going,
Ooh,
or
there's a very
just
CG. There's a very, very CG.
yeah, it's
I know,
all
but
right.
it's scary.
Okay, now they're moving again. No, don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. That's a really small window on the shuttle pod. You can barely see anything.
Mm-mm.
I swear the
Who needs a
window's bigger
window?
on the inside.
You know, it'll probably be easier to do a quick landed mission on an asteroid than Mars or Venus. Every time, right?
If you're able to actually hit the asteroid, because it's harder to hit because
Yeah.
it's smaller, but if you hit it, it should be easier to land hypothetically because you're not being pulled into the surface.
Mm-hmm.
He just
So you
showed
can-
how inconvenient that shuttle door is.
Yeah, it's kind of, awful. Why aren't they moving? Thrusters are going. They're not moving.
Touch of the metal.
They forgot to turn off the grav plating.
Uh-oh.
I see.
Uh-oh. Now we know why they ran out of budget mid-season.
Yeah, I don't really understand that either, Ryan. They like, where else are they gonna go? What's holding them down? Just go. Oh, the thrusters made the ice collapse. Wouldn't that have just
and
made you
them
hover?
not go forward.
Yeah.
Right.
They
Maybe
needed to
they
warm
weren't
up the
fully
ship.
powered on yet. It has a warm-up period.
Yeah, he just
Mm.
Turbine
hit the
engine, yeah.
gas, and he shouldn't have hit the gas that hard.
Really what
Everyone
they should have
knows.
done, if they suspected this was going to happen, which I don't think they did, but they could have just hit him with the grappler and drawn them up.
Hmm.
Just pull
Yeah.
them.
He's gonna do it manually himself.
Enterprise is a cool ship, though. It's very rugged,
Yes.
and it's able to grapple people out like that, like you suggested.
Ooh, manual steering column. I mean, you could probably use a
For
little
now.
assistance.
Yeah. It's a search and rescue at this point.
Well, they've done the searching part. They know where they are.
Now they just need to harpoon the shuttle and pull it in.
Yeah, but having another harpoon wouldn't.
Archer was
wouldn't
piloting
hurt.
manually and Trip is using the grappler
Why do they fire both at once?
to
Why
make
not?
it easier to hit.
Wouldn't you fire one and be like, "Oh no, we missed," and then fire the other one after you've corrected? Right?
I feel like since they're spaced apart so far, you would want to fire one and then the other because they probably have 2 different points of aim.
Why don't they release it, reel them back in, then fire again to get 2 hits?
Yeah,
Or
They're not
just
going
reel
anywhere.
in the one that missed and fire the second one again.
yeah,
Or we're just about to see why they should have had 2.
yeah. Bad idea.
Uh,
Do you did you get the driver update for your graphics card?
maybe. I don't know. I need to do some troubleshooting today.
This kind of like Q when in Q Who, where it's like Picard has to tell Q like I need you.
I mean, it
And
might. Maybe it's not OBS's fault because I was having some problems this morning with my internet, just from the provider.
Did you Hey, that's a cool Vulcan ship. I know. I that's a good shot that we got. That's kind of beautiful. Oh, so that's where we first see the tractor beam.
Yes.
I'm slow. Sorry.
All right, so yeah, there's not going to be a 3rd episode today because I need to fix everything.
OBS.
I need to look at all the crash logs and see what's happening with OBS. Why does it do this to me?
Okay.
Check my log files.
I mean, I do have
So-
like 10,000 hours using OBS.
No, you keep telling me my graphics card is overheating.
Can we get 4 hours
I
next
didn't
week?
say
I've got
that.
quite a few hours in
I-
OBS as well.
Thank you.
Unable to load. It looks like it's the audio codecs again, maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know. At least, but Archer successfully swallowed his pride. Good job, Archer. A deck link iterator could not be created. The deck link drivers may not be installed. No black magic support. Okay. Apparently my OBS does not support black magic. That's good to know. I don't know why I would need black magic. Maybe that's how people get their streams to work so solidly. It's just magic.
Glad that
It's a requirement for the internet.
Oh, the pecan pie. No way.
What a dramatic callback.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, Ryan.
Also, yes, one more for T'Pol's Ride. So yeah, I'm gonna go and look at all my logs and stuff and try to figure out what's going screwy with it.
Good luck.
Maybe we should do a stream of
Screen
troubleshooting
share.
with all of us.
God,
Screen
no.
share
Look, I do
your
not
event
need
log.
7 people's text suggestions at once. For the
Oh,
love of
one-
God, I
one-
do not want people talking over each other trying to solve technical issues.
What could possibly go wrong?
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
Yes.
You haven't restarted your PC during the stream, though.
True.
Yeah. Probably
I
need
turned
some
OBS off and
computer.
on again.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'll figure
So
it out.
OBS
We'll make
just
it work.
goes to zero kilobits, right?
Yeah. Which I'll solve myself, thank you. Goodbye, everyone. The stream is over now. Fare thee well. Be gone. You're
Good luck,
dismissed.
Serbia.
Goodbye. Go away. And so forth.
Bye-bye.